Hello, welcome. We're in the enchanted kingdom of Hermione in the Turret of Pleasure, where we're undergoing some movement, if you will, putting some stuff away, which is turning into a headache because there's a lot of it. And most of this is an influx of stuff that I got from a friend. He's downsizing, so I guess I'm not. But some of it's stuff I've bought recently from local emporia. And in this particular case, the local emporia is the place in Victoria, BC called Ditch Records. Lovely people working there know their stuff, and they get in stuff that weird people like me are going to likely want to buy. And this is the best part of a record store, is you walk in and you discover something that you had no idea existed, but there it is, and it sure looks good, so you buy it, you take it home, and it turns out to be even better than you thought. Anyway, this happened to me every so often. I'll be snooping around in one of the corners I don't often go into. And in this case, I went into the international section, and I immediately gravitate to the African part of those sections, specifically the Ethiopian one. And I went there and I saw this sitting there. And I'm like, wow, that looks neat. If I'm not mistaken, that's an Ethiopian man playing a Yamaha organ. What could be bad about this? And it's Tezeta. Every song in Ethiopia seems to be called Tezeta. Ethiopian instrumental music, Hailu, Emergia, and the Walayas band. Now, I know the Walayas band is like the band. It was like the main backup band in Ethiopia. And this appears to be an instrumental record led by this fellow with this terrific band. They don't tell us who's in the band. That would be way too much to ask. But looks like there's one picture has 5. One has 8. Well, maybe it was variable. At any rate, there's not much to say about this. It's Ethiopian style R&B, I guess you might say, but very Ethiopian. Lots of Ethiopian scales, and the novelty of the electric instruments is really cool. I mean, the guy plays, I think this is the same organ that Miles Davis plays in the 70s. But at any rate, very cool. And then, now, is this the same guy? So I went back because I love this. And, yeah. So this is the same guy, and he has done, what year was this one? It's the one thing I forgot to mention. Years are important in Ethiopian music because 1975. So this would be pre-Derg, I believe. Which means it was at the very end of the kind of golden era. Now this is not, I think this is post-Derg. But this is a neat record. Master accordionist. Those are words you don't hear put together too often. Walayas band leader. Now this is called Hailu Emergia and his classical instrument. The classical instrument in question, I do believe being a mini moog. Because the mini moog plays bass on this. There's a rhythm ace drum machine involved. And then there's, what the heck is it? A Wurlitzer? Anyway, these records are fascinating because you've got these guys from Ethiopia, which is a weird country. It doesn't have much of a musical tradition. In the good old days, slaves were your musicians, so nobody aspired to be a musician. And then you get this one. Now, this is the Fine Ethiopique series. I think put a CD out of this woman. But she's great. She's a krar player and singer. The electric krar. Oh, there it is there. A little krar harp. And these are old tapes from the 70s, back when everything in Ethiopia was cassette tapes. And this was a weird one because she hooked up with this keyboard guy. What's his name? Not going to say it, is it? Anyway, so this wasn't a really typical record for her. There we are. Aznakesh Warku, that's her name. Playing the Krar. Hailu Emergia on organ. He's the guy. He's this guy, right? Yeah. So this is a third Hailu Emergia. And then Tamare Haragu on drums, right? There's a drummer in here. This is different than the other two by quite a bit. Still really interesting. Really cool stuff. These in the record store, I think, were maybe... Well, I think with tax and everything, they were $15. So they were pretty cheap. And they're all on a label called Awesome Tapes of Africa. And they've got a website. Stuff seems to go in and out of print quite quickly. But I think you can still buy a lot of this stuff by mail order, and it's reasonable. I think it tops out at $18. And if you like this kind of stuff, and I'm a total junkie for it, I can't recommend it highly enough. And these I just kind of picked at random. Like I went picking through the international section, found them at Ditch, and so there you go. Shop your local record store and look what you'll find. Anyway, Titanic has coasted to her final stop. Things aren't going to get better. Going on the tour on this other one. It's quite the tour. Anyways, take care of each other. COVID is waning, but not waned. And we'll get back at you with other stuff that I'm scheming up. So take care. We'll talk to you later.